Hello, everybody. It is Grandpa Vince once again wearing his wife's glasses. I'm here with little Sami Zayn and big Kevin Owens, and this is a bucket full of chicken necks. This is the show once a week where I bring on my good friend. I can't call him the Star Maker anymore because I found out he kind of ripped that off from somebody else. So my good friend, Mr. Kenny Bolin. This is where we talk about, news of the week outside of professional wrestling because Mr. Bolin is a man of the world. So I like to hear his opinions on what's going on in the said world. Mr. Bolin, how are you this morning?
Been a busy week since we last spoke, has it not?
A lot. I got a lot, bro. I got a lot here today. A lot of notes, a lot of stuff I want to discuss, Mr. Bolin.
Scared me to death when you introduced Sami Zayn, and then you said big, and I was just, well, here it comes. He's big Kenny Bolin. But no, I didn't know.
Sami Zayn.
KO sitting there.
Because they actually, which I thought was funny as hell, they actually made his action figure with a huge gut. I mean, he's got a huge gut.
I'm seeing it here. I mean, it stands out like a sore thumb, and I don't even have a sore thumb.
Yeah, so I can't call him little Kevin Owens because, he's got a...
I mean, they made him... they did that just to stick it to him. They did.
Oh, yeah. Now, Mr. Bolin, I got to tell you something, bro. You're going to be... this may be the greatest compliment I have ever paid you, and it took me back. I was kind of shocked this week when this news was broken to me.
We're certainly opening the show a little differently this week than we did last. I was being sued about this.
No, Mr. Bolin.
All right.
This is going to be a huge feather in your cap.
All right. I need a feather.
Okay, now, Mr. Bolin, I have two sons and a daughter. My oldest son, his name is Will. He's 30 years old. My middle son, his name is VJ. He's 27. And, of course, I have my daughter, Annie, who's 22.
All right.
Now, I got a call this week from my middle son, VJ, who's 27. He lives here in Colorado with me.
Now, just so the fans know, Vince and I don't do 2 seconds worth of rehearsal.
No rehearsal.
I have no idea where the hell he's going with it.
Well, my 27-year-old son, VJ, called me this week, and he broke a huge news to me that I was kind of shocked and surprised.
Okay.
He informed me that my 30-year-old son, Will, you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm waiting.
Has become a huge Kenny Bolin mark.
I thought the only member of the Russo family I'd won over was possibly you, and without a doubt, Pops.
No.
I thought that's where it ended at.
Will has been listening to the show. Will has been listening to the show, and he has become a huge Kenny Bolin mark.
And I'm assuming he probably never heard of me before I started doing shows with you.
Never, Mr. Bolin. But he loves you, bro. He's a big fan.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up because this is how it all started out on the Cornette show. I came on the show. They all hated me because I was always anti whatever the hell Jimmy was talking about. Much like on your show, you were all the Northerners, 3 or 4 of you. The old Southern boy comes in, and not only a Southern boy, but aligned with old Jimmy Cornette. And it takes a while to sometimes, you're not going to win them all, but slowly but surely, no matter where I've been, I normally win those people over. But the fact that I have won over your 30-year-old son, and I haven't yet won over my 30-year-old son, is pretty dang nice. I like that.
Now,
So a shout out to Will. Will Russo, I would assume.
Yeah, Will Russo. Actually, Kenny, guess Will lives in Atlanta. Guess who he works? Guess who he works for in Atlanta?
In Atlanta. Good Lord. CNN?
DDP.
Oh, does he really?
He works for DDP Yoga.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yes. Now, Mr. Ball, I got to ask you this before we get into business because I got a lot of topics I want to hit tonight.
All right.
Mr. Ball, have we gotten back the moniker, the Star Maker, or is that still being claimed by Mr. Cornette? Where are we on that?
I'm much like the U of L Cardinals right now and just not suing the NCAA. I just don't want to tie up any money in it. We all know who the star maker is. I am the one and the only ever. There's never, ever been a star maker in professional wrestling. Yes, Jimmy gave me the name, but you can't be an Indian giver. And I hope you can say that these days because I am Indian, 1/4 Cherokee. So if anyone can call somebody an Indian giver, it's me. And you can't give me the name and then try to take it back just because you're mad or pissed or whatever. So no, I'm going to be, as a matter of fact, next week, because I wore a Cornette shirt out here last week, and I was going to wear collar and elbow, but I'm not getting many calls from them either. I got my shipment of hats and not even a thank you, not congratulations on still being number one. I don't know what's going on down in collar and elbow, so I'm just going to promote the old bowling club shirt here today. But next week, I'm going to wear the Star Maker bowling shirt. I don't know if I've ever wore it on the show, but I will be wearing it next week to reclaim the title Star Maker.
Okay, now, Mr. Bowling, I'm gonna start right where you just brought us into play.
All right.
Talk to me about the Louisville Cardinals, bro.
Oh man.
Go ahead. I want to hear. Give everybody the little bit of the backstory and then the ruling yesterday, and I want to see where you are on this.
Did you see my tweet yesterday that I made directly to the NCAA?
No, I did not.
I will get to that in a second.
Okay.
Basically, this all goes back to many years ago, apparently all the way back to 2012.
I think 2011 even, Mr. Bolin.
Oh, even back that far. Well, I know that our records were wiped out from 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015. They wiped all that out. It never happened. Took away our national championship, took away 2 of our Final Fours. And what's even more sad, took away all the scoring records from those players from those years who had absolutely nothing to do with this. Took away the block shot title from a couple of players. Took away assist titles from a couple of players. Russ Smith, who led us to the national championship, they renamed Rupp Arena where the Wildcats play Russ Arena because he dominated in there to lead us to the Final Four and to the national championship. All those records go away. So excuse me, I don't know what's making me cough, but this poor man had scored 1,900 points or so in his college career. You know how many he has now?
0.
36.
36
points. That's a little different than 1,900, isn't it? But all this started when a, let's call her a young lady of the evening, was apparently in cahoots with an assistant coach or two from the University of Louisville and was providing strippers at Minardi Hall, which is the dorm named after Rick Pitino's brother-in-law, who died in 9/11. So we even have a Billy Minardi Classic. I'm sure that thing's gone away now. And the Billy Minardi Hall, which is where the players stayed. And this lady wrote a book. I forgot the title of the book because it's a dirty word around here. Breaking Cardinal Rules. That's the name of the book. Breaking Cardinal Rules. And she exposes to where she took all these prostitutes. We've talked about prostitutes on the show the last couple of weeks. And not only that, but was providing her underage daughters that were 16 years old at the time as sexual deviants and sexual favors to the U of L players, allegedly. I don't know that any of this was ever proved, but she was saying it. She wrote a book about it. The NCAA investigated it. It did turn out that the assistant coach had something going on there, but he was long gone by then. He was coaching some BFE school somewhere. I couldn't tell you who it is right now, but he's also been fired from there as well. So a long investigation goes. U of L self-imposes. I mean, Louisville had a team that could have won the national championship that year. And it comes out like 2 days before the tournament starts. Hey, we're not going to play in the tournament. Self-imposed, because if you self-impose these penalties, Vince, as you know, normally, and the precedence is they always go a little easier on you if you try to clean house yourself. Now we get around to today or yesterday to where Louisville had appealed losing their national championship and their Final Fours and all their scoring records and such, and they felt they had a real good shot. They hired one of the top litigators in the country today. I mean, he won like litigator of the year. But they said the NCAA wasn't hearing anything he had to say, wasn't listening to common sense. And to do this for the actions, and let's say they did happen, for the action of a few players who, let's face it, college kids who got laid. Well, if we go around start suspending and taking away titles and championships and scoring records from every college kid who may have had a shady deal for sex while he was in school, we may not have an NCAA anymore. We might not have 330 teams representing the NCAA. There's already 40 teams, give or take, being investigated by the FBI right now. And they said what happened to U of L yesterday might only be the tip of the iceberg, because they're one of the 30 or 40 teams still being investigated by the FBI, and Lord knows for what. Louisville got caught up in a shady deal with apparently Adidas, the shoe company. We had just signed a multi-million-dollar deal with them, and apparently that was a shady deal because they were filtering money to recruits to say, hey, not only can you wear our shoes for free, here's 150 grand for mom and pop so they can come and see you at the games. And apparently there were 2 or 3 deals like that going down, but Louisville got caught on one of them. I forget the player's name, but he was immediately suspended, taken off the roster, never got to take a shot. I don't even know if he got to play in a formal practice. He got the kibosh put on him like 3 days before the season started. So I'm sorry, 3 days before practice started, and then that was building into the season. So yeah, yesterday was just a sad day in Louisville, because they were showing film down at the Yum Center of them going in and taking up. I was there, Vince. I've only been in the Yum Center one time. I used to go to Freedom Hall all the time, but due to my health, it's difficult for me to get in and out of that building. But my son and Myara made sure that I was in the building, 8th row, center court, the night they hung the 2013 national championship, for 2 reasons. One, I'd never seen a national title banner be hung, even though we had 3. Number 2, I was wondering if I was going to live long enough to ever see another national championship. So that was a huge special night for me to get to see something like that. 8th row, center court. I don't know how they got the tickets. You can't get 8th row, center court at a U of L game, and especially when they won the national title. So it really hits me hard, because I was there to see that banner hung, and then I'm watching on the news yesterday, they take it down. And then they take the trophy out of the trophy case, the national championship trophy. It's gone. So all the fans were down in front of the Yum Center yesterday taking pictures with all the memorabilia that is attached to the building and painted on the building, paying homage to Louisville winning the 2013 national championship. So it was a tough day around here. So I basically wrote the NCAA and said, hey, thanks a lot for ruining these kids' careers and their livelihoods for all their accomplishments. And basically for some kids that may or may not have gotten laid during their college career, because that's what they're being accused of. That was the worst that they got accused of, is that an assistant coach paid for them to get laid. How many big star college basketball players in a top 5 basketball program do you know, Vince, that need to have to pay for sex? Can you think of any?
Probably not.
I can assure you the Evansville Purple Aces, who are not to be confused with a top 5 program, don't have to pay to get laid on the college campus if you start for the Evansville Purple Aces. More or less the Louisville Cardinals, who have 2 national championships, are on national television. Just about 30 out of 30.
Well, but that's the thing, Mr. Bolin. You are 100% correct. And with that being said, why did this former staff member feel that he had to arrange for these, these strippers and these sex acts for players and recruits, when they were, no doubt more than capable of being able to go out and get it on their own?
You've got me, and that's what makes us all wonder how much of this is true. Because number one, he was only losing money, not making any. The only one making any money was the head prostitute that wrote the book, and the girls that she was taking there. Now, there's a lot of people say that this never happened, that they were paid entertainers, and they come in and they put on a strip show. Okay, how many girls do you know that go to bachelor shows the day before they get married and watch men strip? But I guess if they're playing basketball for the University of Connecticut, they better not do that, or they're going to be in big trouble. So who knows what all really actually happened? But let's say the worst happened. Some players got laid, some money exchanged hands. Well, it cost. Louisville also has to pay back $650,000 that they had won. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I think it was they only got to pay back $650,000. Well, that's chicken feed, because they admittedly accumulated millions and millions and millions of dollars in sponsorships through winning the national title. And they said, well, guess what? You can't get any of that back because that was money that we earned. So the tweet I made yesterday, hey, you can take the players' records, you can take their title, you can take their banners, you can't take their memories because the fact is we won. And that was my angry little message to the NCAA where I didn't cuss anybody.
All right. Okay, Mr. Bowling, let's move on.
That bored everybody in 49 other states.
That was no. Well, that was hey, I'm not.
It was NBC National News last night and ESPN. When NBC National News is covering you, there's trouble.
Hey, I'm not. I'm here in Colorado and I'm interested in the story. So you didn't bore me. That's why I asked you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Bolin, this is bothering me a little bit. Let's get on to this. I don't know if you saw Fergie's interpretation of the Star Spangled. But Mr. Bolin, let me say this, and then I'm going to give you the floor.
All right.
Fergie is a performer.
Yeah,
we've seen.
I like Fergie for the record.
Yeah, and we've seen the national anthem sung at major sporting events for God knows how many times.
Yeah.
Okay, Fergie went out there and tried something different. She tried to sing a sultry, sexy rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. Okay, bro, it fell flat. No question about it. But here's the problem I have for it. Here you've got an entertainer. She went out there and tried something different. She tried to do something different. Okay, it didn't work. Should she really have to be apologizing for that?
Well, Vince, one of the things about when I used to do the Raw review shows with you that they liked having me on the show is that I didn't always agree with the rest of you. Yeah, I think she did. And here's why. Number one, you've got to try that in front of some people that you love and trust and get their honest opinions who have the courage. Like if Cornette asked me something, I was one of the few people who could tell him the truth and get by with it. Well, she needed to surround herself with some people that could tell her the truth because you and I, Vince, are not singers. We're entertainers, but we're not singers. And if I'm asked to sing the national anthem, I'm going to decline. Well, she is a singer. And yes, you did try something different, but you know that was rehearsed many times. And it was, to quote the Spectrum dummy, a debacle. It was horrible. Social media ate her alive. And that's the bad thing that when you're in, and you and I go through this all the time. If we do something that pisses somebody off, we hear all about it. And she heard all about it. So, yeah, I think she did owe her fans an apology for how bad it went. How does Tony Kornheiser sign off every episode of the PTI show? Sorry for the show. We'll do better next time. Just in case he happened to have pissed anybody off during that half-hour show. Sorry for the show. We'll do better next time. Well, she'll have to do better next time because I think you and I, and you and I both said it here, it did fall flat. And anytime I highly disappoint a large number of my fans, there's two stands you can take. Screw you all. I'm right. You're wrong. Or guys, I'm sorry. I screwed up. And I think she took that road and said, I'm sorry, I screwed up. And I give her kudos for admitting it. I'm proud of her for doing so because there's a lot of entertainers say, hey, you're not singers. I am. You don't know. But man, when you get bashed like that and the numbers were high and strong, and I just heard it one time. I don't ever want to hear that again. There have been others that have bashed it. Roseanne Barr had the record for bashing the national anthem, and she was just flat out disrespectful about it and was hated, couldn't even get work for a long time for what she did with the national anthem. I'm sure you remember that San Diego Padres baseball game. But this was the worst I've seen since then. I just disrespectfully, but it was bad.
Yeah, Mr. Ball, I just don't think this is just me. And listen, I'm not, Fergie's hot. But I'm not.
I'm first agree with you there.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of Fergie or the Black Eyed Peas or anything like this. So I don't have what is it? I don't have
a dog in the race.
A dog in the race. Yeah. But I don't think
a fight horse in the race.
Yeah, I don't think an artist should have to apologize for trying something different, even if it fails. They're artists. I mean, she is a recording artist. That is what she is. So she went out there. She had the balls to try something different. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was a big risk, but I don't think an artist should have to apologize for taking a risk.
You may know more about this than I do. Did she get any positive reviews?
No, none that I saw.
No. Well, I think in that case, you got to apologize.
All right.
You're
Okay.
not getting anything positive.
Mr. Bolin, let's move on.
Yes, sir.
This one cracked me up this morning.
All right.
There's some funny stuff on here, and there's some stuff that's not so funny. Christy Alley now is getting slammed.
Okay.
By a
now, Christy Alley. Good
Listen
Lord.
to this, Mr. Bolin. This one made me laugh.
All right, I don't know anything about this.
And Mr. Bolin, let's both say this up top so we don't get any heat. We're both citizens of the United States. We both love the USA, red, white, and blue. USA.
I'm rooting for them in the Olympics right now. We're stinking it up, but I'm rooting for us.
All right, so you and I are on the same page, right?
We are.
Okay. This cracked me up this morning. The U.S. coach of the Olympic curling team is slamming
Chris stopped dead in his tracks in the bedroom yesterday so he could watch curling with me because we love curling. So
well, but he is slamming Kirstie Alley because she had the audacity,
and she's a Canadian, right?
Yes, she had the audacity of labeling curling as boring. I mean, with all respect, the U.S. coach's name was, let me get it right, it was John Schuster. With all due respect, with all due respect, Coach Schuster.
Coach Schuster.
There are a lot more things out there a little bit more freaking exciting than curling, bro.
Well, let me correct you on one thing, because I heard last night they're not called the coach. They're called the skipper.
The skipper. All right, skipper Shyster. I mean, come on, bro. Like,
I wish my name was Skipper Shyster. I'd still be managing in the wrestling business.
I mean, Skipper Shyster. I mean, with all due respect, there are a couple of more things more freaking exciting than curling.
Checkers,
chess, tic-tac-toe,
tiddlywinks. I watch it. I'm mesmerized by it. I still don't know how the hell they score. I've been watching it since it was introduced into the Olympics. Me and Chris took a fascination to the sport. Did I call it a sport? Shame on me. And I'm even trying to dissect this with Chris yesterday. When not the skipper, but the little guy that slides the rock down. It's called the rock. He's got to be getting a piece of the action. They slide the rock down. I'm amazed with their preciseness, accuracy. They get that thing within 1/100th of an inch of where they want it to be almost every time. And I asked Chris this: who the hell up in Minnesota somewhere was sitting out on a frozen lake and says to his buddy, "Hey, go get me a can of red paint and a can of yellow paint and a can of white paint. What do I need that for? We're going to go out in the middle of this damn lake and we're going to paint a big old circle. Red, white, blue, and we're going to spot in the middle. Find me a big flat rock, just somewhere. Just give me a big flat rock, and we're going to invent some new boring ass game that one day will make the Olympics." Can you imagine that being said to somebody? How did this game come to be? How did they determine the scoring? Why? There's so many other things you could do.
And Mr. Bolin, you and I, I mean, we're known huge freaking baseball fans. Yeah. Listen, with all due respect, bro,
sometimes.
And I don't get offended. I mean, there are a lot of people that think baseball is boring. Bro, baseball is a hell of a lot more exciting than freaking curling. And I don't get offended when people say baseball's boring. Bro, are you freaking kidding me,
Even
bro?
Christopher, who really doesn't understand baseball to the level that you and I do, he just recently kind of caught on. And you know what caught him on to baseball? And you wouldn't think it would be this, because normally when you see the Cubs beat the Phillies 26-24 at Wrigley Field, and maybe they trailed by 9 and scored 8 in the bottom of the 9th and whatever, and just an offensive showdown. But what won Chris over is that we were at Hooters and on all you can eat wing night, and we're watching on the back television. Hey, calm down.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Stop right there. Stop. Pause. Time out.
Okay. All right.
All right, hold on. We keep that thought, but I'm going to make a quick left-hand turn.
I know where I'm at.
Yeah, Mr. Bolin at an all-you-can-eat wing night at Hooters.
Yes.
What are we looking at, bro? What's the damage?
That's funny you bring that up, because on a show, I've done 4 shows this week, and one of them wanted me to tell a Cena story that I've never told, or at least on a podcast. I'm going to tell you what John Cena did, and then I'm going to have you guess what I did. Danny Davis had us all over for a pay-per-view in our early stages at OVW. John Cena had one of the weirdest eating habits of any wrestler that I ever saw. Because, they all do the tuna and the rice and the chicken and the high protein and all that. Well, Cena was mainly shakes all week long, a little bit of protein, a lot of shakes. And then one day a week, he had a cheat day. And I invited him over to watch Raw with us one day, because a lot of the wrestlers would come over and watch Raw, and we would critique what we saw. Hey, this is what we can do better, and just use it as a teaching ground for how to get better on our shows. John Cena came over one day. It was a cheat day, and he ate 2 entire large Papa John's pizzas by himself. Fortunately, we ordered 5. 2 of them he ate. But then we go to Danny Davis's for a WrestleMania pay-per-view, and Danny orders 500 chicken wings from BW3s. 500. You'd have thought that'd have been enough for the OVW roster. We had to order more, because John Cena, do you want to take a guess how many he ate?
Wow. How many people were there?
20 of us.
So you ordered 500.
500. Plus we had sides and all that stuff. But 500 wings. 5 buckets of 100.
50?
Nope. Keep going.
100.
Keep going.
No way. No
way. Yes way.
125.
You're very close. 136 wings John Cena ate, basically on a dare, because he said he could eat 100. We all said, you're full of dog crap. You know how many I ate that same night? Which is my personal record, because they challenged me to compete with him. You want to guess how many I ate and I had to stop?
60.
35.
Oh my God.
35. And that's the best I've ever done at Hooters, is 25 to 35 wings, even the boneless. Tap out and done. Can't do no more. He did 136.
That is unfreaking believable.
It is. And I told that on another podcast. It doesn't quite get the numbers that we did, so we'll just pretend like that story never got told on the other podcast, and we'll tell it here.
Okay.
So
now get back on your road. Go ahead.
Back to what won Chris over. So we're at Hooters, all you can eat wing night. And me and Chris, we do a little damage. And normally I have a couple of friends with us, and he sees me watching a baseball game. And it's nothing in the 13th inning. And it's the New York Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles. And the more this game keeps going, the more he gets into it. And I'm going, this is what's capturing you? This is great, man. This is great. Every time they got the bases loaded, nobody out, guy grounds the third, throw the home out, throw the first out, next guy struck out. Wow, this is great. Pitching duel. Nothing. I think for about 15 or 16 innings they went before anybody scored a run. Normally, the non-baseball fans are just, they can't do this.
Right.
And it's like soccer fans. 0-0. Now we're going overtime. 0-0 means nothing. Oh, and I'm one of those who has trouble watching a 0-0 game.
Oh, yeah. Soccer's
during the Olympics. During the Olympic World Cup, I can do it.
Yeah, soccer's boring as hell to me. Soccer. Yeah.
All right, what's more boring? Soccer or curling?
Curling. There's nothing more boring than curling. And with all due respect,
have you listened to all the yelling and coaching? While the rock is sliding, you can't do. And now the sweepers. Where the hell? Oh, by the way, get me the cans of paint and pick up a couple of brooms. What do we need brooms for? I'll show you when you get them.
Oh my God!
Come to Lake Placid, and we're going to play a cool game that's going to be in Olympics one day. I'm Googling that when we get off here. I want to know who the hell invented curling. I just learned yesterday why it's called curling, because that's what the broom guys are for. They can make it go 1/10 of an inch in either direction and do what they want it to do. Make it curl. We don't need it to curl. That's your coaching, Coach Shyster.
Skipper Shyster. Skipper.
Okay. Who's the only person you ever knew named Skipper? Let's drop that on everybody.
Right Gilligan's Island.
There you go.
What was his name? Alan McHale.
Alan Hale. I almost got McHale's Navy mixed in there. Alan Hale. What a great guy.
Yeah, Mr. Boland, we have one more entertaining story, then we got a serious story at the end, which is kind of
I
three.
bet we have the same serious story.
Yeah, we got three different stories, though, rolled into one. Okay, here's the entertaining story.
All right.
This past week, Black China had a sex tape leaked. Okay, now, the sex tape... the sex tape was her performing oral sex on an ex-boyfriend, Michi.
It wasn't the Kardashian boy.
No, why can't these guys have normal freaking names? What is Michi? Like, who I'm sure when this kid was born, he wasn't named Michi.
Yeah.
But he's named Michi. Okay, whatever.
First, I can play along with Michi, but Michi.
Yeah. So Michi, this is with her ex-boyfriend Michi. And first of all, bro, professional, women who like give classes on oral sex. I mean, professional classes that other women pay for.
Where can you take one of these classes at?
Yeah, well, they're all, but
I think U of L's got a class on that.
Yeah, but they're rating her performance, and she's getting like blasted, like very lackadaisical. There was no emotion, very boring.
Didn't bring the A game.
No, but that's not the story. Here's the story.
I personally would have thought Black China would have brought the A game.
No, she's getting
China.
like
I would expected A game.
No, she's getting by the professionals or lambasting her like like Christy Alley is with the curling.
Well, I'll have to review this film myself and give it my own grade. I don't know if I'm going to trust these naysayers.
But here's the problem, Mr. Bowen.
Okay, good old Michi. Well, how was Michi's performance?
No, because basically the woman was saying it takes both partners. To rate it on the star system. She said both of them were horrible.
I wasn't aware that the blowy.
Yeah, the blowy. I guess the blowy comes into play.
I didn't realize that.
Okay, all right. So here's the thing.
We're learning a lot here today. This is a very educational program.
This I love though. She's claiming now, Black China claiming that the sex tape was leaked. Okay. So now an investigation has taken place. And here's what the police have found.
Okay.
The investigators have found. Number one,
the investigators.
Yeah. Number one, her phone was not stolen. Okay, so she's in possession of the phone.
She's in possession of the thing that got leaked. All right.
Number two.
Go ahead.
Number two, no evidence that her phone has been hacked.
Okay.
Number two. Right. Number three, no photos or other videos have been leaked. Just that one.
Yeah.
And number four, she says that she showed no one the phone.
So, for the record, the video entitled "Blow the Man Down" was the only thing leaked off this phone, and no one had the phone.
Michi is claiming he shot it. He actually shot it on her phone. And gave her phone back to her immediately.
So he doesn't even have a copy of this.
He doesn't even have a copy of this. So with all this proof with this entire investigation, she's still going to the LAPD today, and she's going to press criminal charges.
On?
I don't know.
Michi?
Because of his name? That should be out.
All right, let's back it up here. I take great pride in my investigative abilities. First of all, what is Michi's profession? He can't have a job.
I think he might be a rapper.
He might be.
Right.
We're just basing that on the name Michi because why else would you have that name?
Yeah.
So she's pressing charges. But I got to watch some TMZ today. They got to have this. I mean,
phone wasn't stolen. No evidence it was hacked. Nothing else was leaked from the phone. And she says she showed no one the phone.
Now, isn't she? Didn't her claim to fame? Wasn't she a professional stripper, dancer, something like that?
I think so.
How did she get famous through dating and marrying Rob?
No, I think she used to date famous. It's like a Kardashian story.
Let's analyze this a step further while we're on Black China, whose name has not come up on the show before. Me or you, average white guys. We didn't have the band, but average white guys, me and you. I would put Kardashian in the average white guy group. If you just saw him walking down the street,
I agree with that.
Right. 3 average white guys. Now you see Black China walking up. Holy mackerel, as a famous man once said. Do you think Black China is going to give any of the three of us, if she doesn't know who we are, doesn't realize if we have any money, or me, you, or good old Rob getting the time of day from Black China?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But yet, she all but married him, had a baby with him, right?
Right.
Yep. And worked themselves into the reality show. She apparently was trying to do a hostile takeover of the reality show.
Well, and then they got their own reality show out of it.
Yeah, got their own, and then the divorce apparently happens, or separation. I don't even know if they ever really
were never married. Never
got married. But then she started sleeping with another guy, and then that guy was getting into a Twitter war with Rob and telling him that he was a horrible lay and that he was giving Black China what she wanted. See, I know way more about this than I should.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be admitting all this.
And then Michi comes into play out of nowhere.
Michi. I got to find out who Michi is. I'm way behind.
Okay, here we go. All right. I got a couple of stories about what took place in Florida.
Okay. All right.
Here's one. Man, I got to tell you, I don't know about this one.
All right. I've touchy subject with me. I've tweeted plenty about it since it's happened.
Okay. There was a student from the school. His name is Anthony Borges, Borges.
I've seen him several times.
Mr. Borges was shot twice. Was shot in both legs and the back.
You know what? I might have the wrong guy. That's not the guy I'm thinking of.
Yeah, this guy was shot both legs and the back as he tried to close and lock the door from the shooter. Okay, his family has since put up a FundMe page to help raise some money for his health care.
All right.
Some celebrities have given to this GoFundMe page. Now, let me say right there. Okay, bro, like that's a beautiful gesture on their part.
Right.
Okay, bro, that celebrities gave some money towards Anthony Borges, who was a hero. You know what I mean? Was a hero, got shot 3 freaking times.
Can't argue with that.
But crying out loud, okay? So I give credit to the celebrities for giving some money into the GoFundMe. But here's like the problem I have.
All right.
Judd Apatow. You know who Judd Apatow is, right?
Yeah.
$1,000.
That's why they have an anonymous section on these donations. So that way you don't get into a bidding war with your fellow celebs and you're not embarrassed at what you donated. And $1,000 from me, pretty damn big deal. $1,000 from him. And it's what me and Chris were talking about yesterday. We were talking about some donation that somebody made to something. I said, Chris, that's like if you or I donated $40.
Right.
You know, what he donated. You know, it's like a $40 donation, what he just did.
You know who Kevin Smith is? You know who Kevin Smith is, right?
Oh, absolutely.
$1,000.
Oh,
listen to this one.
He's got more than that.
You know who Eric McCormick is from Will and Grace?
Absolutely, yeah.
$500.
So now we've raised $2,500. Is that what we got? $3,500 at best?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If there's a chance of these numbers getting out, okay, Judge Apatow gave 1,000, Kevin Smith gave 1,000.
And apparently they put their names on it.
Yes, they did. If there's a chance of these numbers getting out, why would you donate money at all?
Exactly.
More
harm than good.
I mean, Eric McCormick, $500. I mean, bro, that's a lunch for the guy.
I don't know where you're at financially, Vince, or and you probably don't know exactly where I'm at. We survive. We pay our bills. $500 from me or you at this stage of our game, I would consider a generous donation.
Right.
But you got to play the percentages. And if Mark Cuban or Vince McMahon or Bill Gates or somebody of that ilk donates $1,000. Now, these guys aren't in that category, but $1,000. Do you think they miss 10 grand?
Oh, hell
15
no.
grand, 25 grand?
Literally, that $5,000 is a dinner.
And what does $1,000 do to a medical bill for a guy who's been shot 3 times? What does that even do?
I don't get it. I mean, it's nice that
I appreciate the generosity.
Yeah, it's nice that they gave, but I mean, come on.
Make it anonymous if you're going to do that.
All right, here's my second.
That way, me and you aren't judging them.
Here's my second story on Florida. Okay,
I had to get that in.
Nicholas Cruz is the shooter, right?
Yep. A lot of
Okay.
people even trying to avoid saying a little guy's name, but
Yeah.
he was a sick puppy.
Yeah. Now,
Very-
here's the problem. You know, he's eligible for a court-appointed lawyer. However, now they're finding out that his mother died. She had an estate. There
Oh,
was an insurance policy, and actually enough money may have been left for him that he doesn't require the services of a court-appointed lawyer because he can afford it himself. But
well,
here's
before you go on, that answers
ahead.
one of my questions. Where the hell is this mentally ill 19-year-old kid who lives with foster parents? Where the hell? Because I don't know if you heard this or not. He had over 10 assault rifles. Them things ain't cheap, as they say in the country. 10 of them. I couldn't go buy 10 assault weapons today. I mean, it wouldn't be wise of me to do so. It's a lot of damn money. He, at 19 years old, without any help from anybody, apparently other than his mother's estate, and normally you can't get your mother's estate at age 19, so something's not adding up. Where did he get the money? He had a job at 19. What the hell could you be doing in Florida? Florida ain't known for paying real well, especially 19-year-old kids. Where the hell did he get the money to buy 10 assault weapons? And then what guy keeps selling them to him without contacting anybody? Something's got to raise a flag here somewhere.
What would one of those go for? Because I don't have a clue.
If I had to get, and I really don't know, but I know what some handguns cost, and they're several $100s. I would think one of them damn things would be close to $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong. Somebody might correct us on here, because apparently there's 8 million of those things out on the market. Probably 50 people own all 8 million from what I know about some of these people. Yeah. So somebody correct us on here in the comment section if you'd like. My guess would be at least $1,000, and they might be more than that. I know some handguns run $500-600, and that's why I don't have those.
But okay, so Mr. Ball,
something that I probably will never use. I don't want to drop $500,000 on it.
Here's what I want to.
Unless Jimmy Cornette comes hunting for me, then I guess I'll need it.
Oh, that's nice, Mr. Ball. I'm gonna burn this tape so it's never used as evidence. All right, Mr. Ball. Here's the problem I'm having with this.
All right,
and who I could get lambasted for this. I don't care because we don't even know what we could say anymore. This girl Charlie was on a WWE programming. Charlie Caruso,
the brunette.
And I'm sitting there watching this show, and I'm like, this girl is stunningly beautiful. Not hot
on the network, right?
Yeah, not hot, not sexy, stunningly beautiful.
A pretty girl.
And I tweet that out, and I'm like,
she doesn't look like Jeff Lane's.
No. And I tweet that out, and I'm like, can I like even say this, or am I gonna be called sexist because I'm saying a woman is stunningly beautiful? That's what we can say, and what we can't say is out the window.
Vince, I am known for acknowledging beautiful women.
Yeah,
my God, and I say it, and I'm not backing down from that. If I think a woman's pretty, and you know my weakness for the Asian girls, and I sent out a Valentine's tweet the other day, to where I said, and I'd like to wish a happy Valentine's Day to some of my favorite celebs, and many of them are friends of mine. And they noticed that every one of them that I sent the happy Valentine's Day to was either Latina or Asian. And I got some crap about that. I said, I have made tweets recently to where I have said that Asian women are the most beautiful women on the planet. That is my personal opinion. I am entitled to that. Now, needless to say, not too many white women approach me these days because that tweet didn't really win them over. I didn't think this whole thing through, but that is my fashion. Maybe some people like Russian women, some people like German women. I like Asian women. They are my kryptonite. I see them on television, and there's nothing I like better than a smart, educated, beautiful Asian woman telling me the news. The news, Vincenzo, the news.
The news.
What did I just do there, Vince?
I know
the news, Vincenzo. The news.
What's that from?
Night Stalker, Carl Kolchak.
Oh, what a great show!
What a great show! I just introduced Maya to it last week. I loved it.
What a great! I got that on DVD somewhere behind me. No doubt about it.
Oh, and they were noticing that you had the Seinfeld collection back there.
Yeah,
Chris and Maya, huge fans of Seinfeld.
Yeah, I got the Night Stalker back here.
Oh, you got nice stuff. Cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got it on DVD.
I watch it on Me TV.
I love that show. Okay, can I get back to this?
You can.
Mr. Bowley, here's what's bothering me. Now, I know, okay, USA. I know everybody's guilty. I mean, innocent until proven guilty, and everybody deserves a hearing, and law needs to do its thing.
Due process.
Due process is what I'm looking for.
Trump himself recently said.
Process. But Mr. Bowling, when you have a guy like there's no ifs, ands, buts, or about it, this is the guy.
We're already
He's
in
as
agreement here.
guilty as they come.
Yeah.
17 people murdered. How many? I don't know how many people were hurt.
14 or 15.
14 or 15. This is the guy. Or none. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
Why are the Florida taxpayers paying for a court-appointed lawyer for this guy? Do we really need to get this guy a lawyer?
No. When there's countless witnesses to the crime, but now we got to determine whether he was sick or not. What the F? Yes, he's sick. He went into a school and killed 17 people. He fired off hundreds of shots. We're lucky that he's a bad aim. We're lucky he didn't know what he was doing. He fired off hundreds of rounds and only made connection with 30 some odd. It could have been a lot worse. And then you got this clown in Vegas that was setting up in window. And one of these, and boy, this got me mad. One of these Republicans who defends the right to bear arms, which I think meant sleeveless shirts, but he defends the right to bear arms. He says that just as many people can be killed by a shovel or a brick as an assault weapon. I'm sorry. You give this son of a bitch in Vegas who was up 15 stories wherever he was with several assault weapons. You give him 50 bricks or 50 rounds, and he had way over 500, by the way. He ain't killing nobody unless somebody's unlucky enough to walk under that damn brick that falls from 15 stories or the shovel he threw. No, you can't kill as many people with a knife, a brick, or a shovel as you can with an assault weapon, and especially when it's got the bum stock or whatever they call it that makes it a machine gun, which apparently Trump has now spoke up against and is going to try and do something about. Let's hope so. All I know is that the kids are storming the White House March the 24th, and they're storming Tallahassee today. They're having a little session with some kids today in Washington. The kids, Vince, I'm telling you, they're going to make a difference. They won't quit. They will not quit.
Nice segue, Mr. Bolin. Because here is the last story. I was just reading today before we came on the air, Mr. Bolin. I had all my stories. Notice this one's on the back because I'm like, I got to talk about this one.
All right.
Here's the freaking top story right now on AOL, which shows you what a freaking dinosaur I am.
Can I guess what it is? Can I guess what it is?
Go ahead.
The death of one of my favorite wrestlers today, 99 years old, the death of Billy Superstar Graham.
No. You want to hear something funny though?
Actually, it was the preacher, Billy Graham.
I was watching Judge Mathis this morning because Judge Mathis is on here he's on here from 5 to 6 o'clock.
Okay. In the morning.
Yes. Guess who was
have a channel here, Vince, that has nothing but Judge shows from like
that's what we have to. We have the same thing. And this one, have you ever seen? Listen, bro, nobody talks about this one. We know Judge Judy, we know Judge Mathis, we know People's Court.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Have you seen
Judge Wapner?
Have you seen Judge Faith? I think it is.
Yes, I have.
She is gorgeous.
She can rule on me any day.
Holy mama mia! Nobody talks about Judge Faith. She is gorgeous.
I would be pathetic in front of her.
Oy vey. Okay, can I get back to Judge Mathis though?
I kind of want to go back to Judge Faith, but go ahead.
I'm watching Judge Mathis, and I notice somebody's being sued, and the woman who's doing the suing mentions that he's an ex-wrestler.
Okay, an ex-professional wrestler, I'm sure.
So I'm like, this is interesting.
Okay.
So I'm watching this. Now they got my interest. John Nord, the Barbarian, was on Judge Mathis being sued.
I've met the Barbarian a few times back in Cornette's days in WCW.
This is worse than anything Kenny Bolin, or Coach Skipper Shyster have ever tried to sell, tried to hawk, tried to pawn. Okay, bro.
Just to hear.
Bro, John Nord owes this woman like freaking $5,000.
He's been milking her, right? He's been milking her.
Milking this woman.
All right.
Owes him TV set, paying his rent, the whole 9 yards.
That, by the way, happened to Rene Dupree while he was at OVW down here on his daddy's millions. But go ahead.
So he owes this poor woman $5,000. She never saw it coming. Okay, Mr. Bolin. So Mr. Bolin, Mr. Nord has no money.
Shame. Shame. Hold on a minute. I'm picturing him when I saw him in the back with the Warlord and the Barbarian.
Yes.
With manager Paul Jones, and the music's playing, and Paul's hitting his rider's crop. And I'm filming all this stuff backstage in Chattanooga, Tennessee, at a WCW show. And he was one of the last people I filmed that day before Ric Flair granted me a little interview back there to talk about Louisville and North Carolina when we beat them for the national title in 1986.
Okay. You're going to love this case, Mr. Bolin. Okay. So he owes a woman $5,000.
All right.
He doesn't have a pot to piss in.
That is sad.
The day before Thanksgiving, he tells the woman to meet him in a parking lot.
Okay.
Opens up his van or whatever the hell he has. You ready?
I'm ready.
Unloads 200 wrestling figures on the woman, telling her that they're worth $5,000.
Uh-huh.
The woman takes the action figures. Okay. The woman takes the action figures, right? Wait. Hold on, Mr. Bolin.
She took them.
She took the action figures.
Okay.
Somebody took all 200 action figures off her hands.
Yeah, $325.
But Mr. Bolin, here's the kicker.
Okay.
John Nord basically claims the woman got taken because the action figures were probably worth about $10 a piece.
If he signed them in front of somebody, they wouldn't be worth.
Hold on. Hold the phone, Mr. Bolin.
All right. I'm holding.
But he says to her, listen.
Okay.
There was 200 action figures that were probably worth $10 a piece, so she got pissed off.
However, that's why he had them in his van, because they were worth that much and he had no money.
However,
there
was one action figure that he had with him, not even in packaging. It was out of the packaging.
Out of the package.
It was a John Nord Barbarian action figure he had with him.
Uh-huh.
He tells Judge Mathis, while all the other ones were $10 a piece. Are you ready, Mr. Bolin?
I'm ready.
This Barbarian action figure out of the package is worth $1,750. Okay? Bro, Judge Mathis credits him $1,750 and only gives the woman $3,250.
Are you bullshitting me?
Yes.
What was this based upon? I used to like Judge Mathis. He's a fool.
Can you imagine? He gave him $1,750 for an action figure of the Barbarian.
Back up from the microphone because of it. What?
Yes. Yes.
Holy.
All right, Mr. Bolin, let me get to my last
title over to him. I hand him the title.
Let me get the story I caught on right before I came on the air.
All right.
Here was the headline.
I'm not going to recover from the one you just told me, but go ahead.
Massive FBI-linked conspiracy around survivors of the Florida school shooting.
Oh, yeah. I saw this on MSN.
Here is the claim. David Hogg, who is I don't want to say the ringleader. That's the wrong word. The advocate for all the students at Stoneman Douglas High School.
Would not be appropriate in this.
No, exactly. That's not broad. Just the advocate for all the students at Stoneman Douglas High School. They are saying that David Hogg is not a student, that he is an actor okay, and that his father used to be a high-ranking official in the FBI.
Let me tell you where they got that information from.
Yeah.
Because the day after the shootings, I saw this kid being interviewed, and he was hot and he was pissed. And he told the world the day after the shooting, my dad is a retired FBI agent, and I'm pissed. My dad couldn't make the changes. Well, I promise you, we will. And he told the world his dad was a retired FBI agent the day after the shooting, standing there with the Gonzalez girl, and several others. He gave that information himself. So I saw on Fox News where they put exposed, like they dug this information up somewhere. He told everybody who his dad was. But go ahead.
Yeah. So they're claiming, the people on the right are claiming that this is a massive conspiracy being fueled by the FBI trying to get their agenda over as it relates to gun control, and that David Hogg is an actor and not a student. However, I mean, it has been confirmed that he is indeed a 17-year-old student at the school.
Yeah. Well, you remember the Sandy Hook stuff. They claim Sandy Hook never happened. That went on. That was so well done. They almost had me believing it. I watched the half-hour show or hour show that tried to explain to you why Sandy Hook probably never happened, that no kids died. And they did such a masterful production job on that. I'm sitting there going, what? Really? God, wow. Why would they do that? They almost had me, who just does not buy into conspiracy crap hardly ever at all. And I used to want to believe Jesse Ventura's just because it was Jesse Ventura. But no, I saw these kids the day after the shooting. And the thing is, and here's how they explained it today. Well, these kids are too comfortable in front of the camera. These kids are professional actors. These kids have been hired by the Democrats to come out here and to push their agenda. What era and age do we live in now, Vince? The age and the era of YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. These kids are on camera and speaking in front of masses of people every single day. They are way more prepared. As a matter of fact, the congressman who was talking about this, he says, I still have days I'm not comfortable to be in front of the camera, and I will see my daughter post stuff on Twitter at age 15 or Facebook that I'm going, how did you get the courage to do that? How are you so good at that? Well, it's not anything. I'm just speaking from the heart. I'm just saying what I feel, Dad. It ain't that big a deal. They don't even realize that hundreds or thousands or millions of people are hearing what they say. They're doing what you and I are doing right now. We're looking into a camera, and you and I are just talking to each other. If anyone happens to eavesdrop in and listen, so be it. And that's what these kids are. I mean, they're raised in front of a camera. Most of them have never had a day in their life that wasn't recorded in one fashion or another. Christopher is almost in that era. Christopher was very comfortable in front of a camera the first day he did a promo on OVW TV. I was a nervous wreck, and I'd been around the business for a long time and was scared to death because I knew who I was talking to. We were the #1 rated show in Louisville at 11 o'clock for years and years and years. And I was nervous, but yet my son wasn't, because he's had a camera in his face since the day he was born. You and I never went through that.
Okay, Mr. Bolin, what's going on in the Kenny Bolin merchandise world?
Well, there's one thing, and I'm pissed again. You didn't put the hair over again.
I don't need to anymore. Everybody knows the elegance of the hair. Everybody.
But you probably want to know the secret. How does he do it? How does he keep? Because I was maybe 2 minutes late getting in here today because I just got the news about Billy Superstar Graham passing away today at age 99, and but which we didn't even talk about. And, that's how non-wrestling this show. And ladies and gentlemen, it was the evangelist, not the wrestler. Yeah, but everybody's been wanting to know how I keep this hair looking the way that I do. And you know what I use, Vince? I'm going to reveal it today. Kangaroo poo. I put kangaroo poo in my hair, and here it is right here.
Oh my God, look at him.
Aussie poo. It's Aussie shampoo. You can get this stuff for about $5 a bottle. And I hadn't had it in a while. I've been using Suave.
I'm writing that down. I'm writing down the Aussie because I'm going to try that. Aussie.
Yeah. Oh, the Aussie poo is the best, man. Aussie poo. It's Aussie Family Shampoo, and I renamed it Aussie Poo. There could be a packaging thing redone here today before the show hits the air. And but I recommend the Aussie Poo. It's one of the best shampoos I've ever used. And but I have to admit, I get the same results when I use Suave. I get the same results if I use Ajax dish detergent with my daughter-in-law loses her freaking mind when I told them. She said, well, how did you wash your hair today? You said you was out of shampoo. I said, I used Ajax. You did what? I said, yeah, twice a year I use Ajax. You know why I do that?
No.
Strips out all the conditioners and all the nonsense going on in your hair, and it strips it down clean. Have you ever used Pearl?
Yes, the green gimmick.
Prel.
Yeah, the green gimmick.
The green gimmick. You drop the Pearl. That's why I said Pearl. You drop the Pearl in it, and it takes it like 4.5 days to get to the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's Prel was one of the strongest shampoos ever made. Well, there's one thing stronger. It's called Ajax.
They don't make that Prel anymore, do they? I was just looking for that the other day. I swear to God, I was thinking about it.
And you know what? Me and you are the only two people on the planet Earth that have mentioned Prel. In the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Prel was something else. My mother used to buy it.
Yeah.
But the commercial back then was they dropped in a Pearl in the bottle of Prel, and it's this thick ass green.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
And it would take the commercial would be over, and that Pearl wouldn't be a quarter of the way down the bottle. It just didn't make it. Yeah. Shampoos today, man, you can drop a Pearl in there and it'll bounce. I mean, that's how thin shampoos are today. And you're familiar with Suave, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Remember what Suave's slogan was that got them over and why they're still around today and sell a lot of damn shampoo? Suave, ours does what theirs does for less than half the price. How can you not buy that?
That is, yeah. I mean, that was always the cheapest shampoo on the market, without a doubt.
You can still get a bottle of Suave, a little bit bigger than this, for 99 cents.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You ain't gonna get kangaroo poo for 99 cents. That's about $5 right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Things to sell. All right. We got to start moving a few more of these. We got the
I love that.
Yeah, that's it. And when I get your address, you keep telling me you're going to give it to me. We're going to get you one of those.
Love that. Love that.
Turn it upside down, eat some ice cream in it.
Yep.
I now have the Monster Intunes in 8 colors. You see the black ones I have right now? The Laker one.
Yellow, Laker LSU.
Yeah, and LSU. You're right. You're very good. And I sold the LSUs to a guy who's connected with Raising Cane's Chicken. He just bought a set for me last night. He bought about $250 worth of merchandise.
Very nice.
Shout out to Clay Young. And these are the hot ones. The Maya Doodle loves the lavender.
Nice.
Intunes. And these things, you can go on Amazon Prime right now. They're $150. Some places have them for as high as $250. I just scored a deal with Shinsuke knockoff Amora. I got 5 more sets of these bad boys coming in. $79.95.
Can't beat that.
Get up and call in now. And if you wear them just right, they match the kangaroo poo.
Do you throw that in?
No, I'm not throwing in the kangaroo poo.
Okay, all right.
I was close. And one last thing here. I've only got 2 sets of these left. The Piano Black Beats.
Wow, very classy.
And I also have those in white, but I don't have them in front of me. And let's go ahead and grab these. We have the orange.
Wow. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Now you're barking up my tree because those are San Francisco Giant headphones.
And I have a beautiful San Francisco 49er logo that would
Giants, bro.
Giants.
Screw the 49ers.
I put the Niners on the red one. You see the Cardinal?
Yeah. Oh, bro. I may be interested in that, Mr. Bolin.
And this one here looks fantastic with a Miami Hurricane logo on it. Got the Miami Hurricane green. And we
nice.
the orange. But yeah, those would look marvelous with a San Francisco Giant logo.
Yes,
you gave me a great idea right there, buddy.
Yeah.
You don't by any chance have an extra $79.95 laying in the back poke, do you?
I gotta see what I could do, man. Giant headphones. I'm a mark, bro.
Throw in a bowling hat.
Yeah, there you go, Mr. Bolin.
Hey, you know what? I like you. There's a lot of people I don't like. I'll throw you in the bowling club hat, the real one.
Nice, bro. All right, we got to talk.
I'll even upgrade if you buy the headphones. I feel like this has turned into QVC. If you buy the not the 49ers, they played pretty good towards the end though. If you buy the San Francisco Giant Intunes, I will throw in the free bowling club hat, and wait till you hear this. I will upgrade your microphone to a brand spanking new white bowling club microphone.
And the Aussie poo.
and a bottle of Aussie.
We may have a deal. We're going to have to talk off the Mr.
I can't send this overseas. They won't let you do it. But I can send it to Colorado, wherever you're at.
Mr. Bowlen, when are you going to cut the next bowling alley for the brand?
We just did. It's out. It's being produced and edited right now. We guess Wayne, if he's not posting videos of them playing video games, it should be up today. Well, not today because this doesn't air till Friday. It should already be out, folks.
By the time you're hearing this show, it should be
new bowling alley. Oh, and I took your idea. March the 5th, we're going to record the 8 guests to come in and join us on the bowling alley. $49.95. You get a free book. If you don't want the book, you can upgrade to a shirt or hat for $10. $59.95. 90-minute show, and we're going to record that March the 5th. It'll be up and out a couple days later. And
you have spots open to that?
We have 3 spots left out of the 8 because we just posted it yesterday.
So take care. Get those 3 spots now because they're going to go quick.
And if we don't sell those 3 spots, we'll never do it again. So.
Yeah, there you go.
And Kevin Owens just looking good there. I'm glad they put a shirt on him. I'm so glad they put a shirt on him.
Absolutely. All right, listen, Mr. Bowlen, enough of this nonsense. Thanks for joining me today, as always. Bucket full of chicken necks. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you doing the show. I appreciate you being a part of the brand.
A lot of people out there wanting this thing changed to bitching with bowling. A lot of people.
Bitching with bowling. Bucket full of chicken necks. So we're paying homage to Yokozuna.
Absolutely, we are.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There you go. Any last
word? Only man in the business bigger than me.
Yeah. Any last words from the great Mr. Starmaker Kenny Bowlen?
Oh Lord, springtime's coming. We were 84 degrees here in Louisville, Kentucky yesterday. Wow. We're going to be 44 today, but it changes in a hurry. But March is around the corner. March the 16th. Me and the Prince celebrate my 58th birthday. The Prince will be 31, and Chocodile will be 5. Great day.
Bro, we're so close because I'm 57 and my son is 30. You see how close that is?
Very close, very close. And by the way, shout out to Will.
Yeah.
Will he is. Is that what you named him? Will he is, not Will I am?
Yeah, Will he is.
Will he is. And,
or you can call it, if his friends call him Michi.
Well, we know he's at least tapped into Black China then. Oh, we know. But no, other than that, man, we plugged about everything I got going on there. Get your Bowling Club shirt, your BS Classic shirt. The hats are now only $19. Shirts, all sizes, $25. Get up and call in now.
All right, everybody. There you have it. Another evening with the great Mr. Kenny Bowlen. And we will see you again next week. I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a great day, everybody.